Hello, Brussels, my favorite city. Yeah. I spent a fantastic year here 10 years ago, magical year. Today I'm going to talk about the future of medicine and pharmacy, the way I see it. Normally I only project about 5 years ahead of time. This is a typical lifespan of a research grant. Today I'll try to do my best to use a crystal ball. I haven't used it in years. So let's first start in the past, the way medicine looked in, let's say, 1632 in Amsterdam, as depicted by Rembrandt. And fast forward to 2011, Brussels. What has changed? Well, we see some women there. They dropped the hats, and they changed the black coats for white coats, and they started charging a lot of money. Well, a little bit more than that. Okay, there has been some progress made. There is a lot of technology surrounding the hospital, inside the hospital, MRIs, big machines, small machines, ECGs, EEGs, tomotherapies, analytics, thermometers, pressure meters, cell cultures, and analytics of all kinds. That must have resulted in a great progress, right? Yes, it has. But medical errors are still plaguing the system. Roughly, 1 in 3 diagnoses and medical procedures is wrong. 1 in 6 is seriously wrong that can jeopardize your health, in fact, life. So the medical profession operates currently at the so-called 2 sigma level. So 2 sigma is 1 in 3 wrong. Compare it to other modern technology disciplines like aeronautics or electronics, where they operate at 6 sigma. That means 3 errors per 1 million. And I think, as my bold prediction, the medical professional will reach the 6 sigma level, but the doctors will cease to exist. When you look at the types of errors, I mean, this is really incredible when you look at the list here and see using the wrong patient for the procedure, the wrong drug, the wrong route, the wrong dose, the wrong frequency, there's something seriously wrong. And 44% of the deadly errors actually are technical errors. How can this be in the modern day and age where we have automatic cars that drive themselves? Maybe pharmacy is a bit ahead of the game. Let's look at modern pharmacy, quote unquote. Starts with the list of drugs, pharmacopoeia. In North America, it's called the Orange Book that the doctors use. It has 1,800 drugs for a few thousand diseases. Then the doctor writes a prescription. You fill it out at the local pharmacy store, and you get a bunch of drugs to put in the medicine cabinet. This is, by the way, Ray Kurzweil's medicine cabinet at the bottom. So this looks exactly the way my grandfather, who was a pharmacist, used to work about a century ago. Why is that? Well, again, modern drug development, in my opinion, is the most error-prone industry in the world. Do you know of any activity that makes one successful choice out of 100,000? I don't. So it starts with a library of compounds, and we do a lot of preclinical testing, clinical testing, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Finally, we get to approval stage and post-market analysis. All of it takes about 15 years and costs $1 billion per new drug. No wonder we only have 136 cancer drugs for 200 types of cancers. Talk about personalized medicine. That's the heavy burden on our society, too. And actually, this is good news. And this talk is supposed to be very positive. So where's the good news? Most of the causes of failure actually are predictable computationally these days, and in 50 years' time will be completely eliminated. So the causes of drug failure involve the lack of action at the target site, too much action at the off-target site, lack of delivery, failure at the animal trials, failure to human trials, too much toxicity. Even today, I think 50% or more of these results can be predicted computationally. There's very intelligent software out there, and we have more and more hardware available that can eliminate all these problems if you do it right. And I think in 50 years, we will have created a virtual human, a multi-scale modeling tool, a software that we'll have in our pocket. One of our apps will be our double, our virtual double, which will actually start at the level of atoms and molecules and build up a multi-scale processing program going into the cells and tissues and organs and the full body. So when you take a medication, which will actually be dispensed automatically, you'll know exactly where it's going and what's doing. Even today, we have almost complete knowledge of what goes wrong in cancer cells and different types of cancer. Why can't we cure it? My prediction is cancer will be a chronic disease, if not curable disease in 50 years' time, because we have really all the potential solutions already available. We just don't know how to go from concepts to practice. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how these concepts can translate into practice. Because we know how drugs act in terms of their interactions with proteins and protein-protein interactions. It's a very simple algorithmic process which recognizes receptor sites and seeks a binding to a receptor site, and we can absolutely optimize it and find, for every protein structure, we can find all the pockets and all the drugs and rank them according to their activity. We also have the potential to do it at the personalized level. We heard about the X-Prize challenge, sequencing DNA. In 50 years' time, DNA will be sequenced at birth for everybody for $10. And this will be actually used as a platform to create your own personal pharmacopoeia. You'll have a selection of drugs designed for all diseases that can plague you in the future. This will be an app. It can be downloaded. And what's actually standing between this solution and its application today is the number of computations, simulations that need to be done. Conservatively speaking, it's about 1 quadrillion simulations to create what I call a pharma Google, a search for the entire set of protein targets for a human being of all the drugs that will be necessary. So computational hardware is increasing its power at an astounding speed. 50 years from now, it'll be completely doable. I think it'll be doable in 10 years from now. So what is the future telling us based on the extrapolation of past predictions? In 2061, we'll be living on average until we are between 90 and 95 years old. Some of us will live to 120 or 164 maybe. You can see that the lifespan increases on average 10 years for every half century. So half century from now will be 10 years. There's one proviso. This requires input in terms of resources, and that applies also only to rich countries, as is shown in this graphic on the left. So rich countries will be privileged in terms of longevity, and still are, but hopefully the rest of the human race will have a more affluent lifestyle than it is today. So in 2061, we can expect that the doctor will disappear. Family physicians will no longer be a viable profession. They will decide to be actors playing doctors in historical movies. We will be using tricorders for self-diagnoses, which will be incredibly accurate. And these tricorder signals will trigger release of drugs which will be implantable in nano devices. They'll store all possible cures. If you need new ones, you can download them for a fee. I want to say that all these ideas go back at least 10 years into a magical place in Brussels, StarLab, that I had the privilege of working for a year, and are being implemented today at another magical place, Scanadu in California, And in both places, the master magician is Walter de Brouwer. Thank you very much.